still just us, huh?
Yes, it is.
Oh, we're still 10 minutes early. I didn't realize I was that early.
Yeah, you're, yes.
One of those days where I don't keep track of the time very well.
Well, I had, what, 4 different Zoom meetings this morning, so they just kind of all blurred in together, so.
Mine went from like noon till 2 or 3 or something like that. And then actually I have to do work after that.
Yeah, yeah. What's the biggest thing you're working on right now, Brent?
I've been working on a renovation at Lockheed Martin for like a year or two now, so that's the only thing I'm working on right now.
Oh, the only thing, okay.
Yeah, but it's in construction still, lasting through the end of the year, so it's got a little while to go.
What's been the most unusual thing about what you've had to do with that?
Well, it's a 1960s building, so there's always lots of unusual stuff that's uncovered when you start tearing it out and renovating that. But abatement and probably the most unusual thing, because it's in the foothills, was that right underneath the slab in the cafeteria where we had to install a lot of plumbing and stuff, there was sandstone directly under the slab, so they had to cut away a lot of that and get all that out of the way before they could even do the plumbing work in there. So that was a pretty big delay on it.
Sure.
So yeah, that was an unexpected one because usually now, or always now, they'll excavate it down a few feet and then build on top of it. But in the 60s, I guess they didn't have to.
We just want it up.
Well,
So,
but
so we can
obviously it's
occupy.
not going anywhere. Put it on top of
And
rock, it'll stay there.
it didn't move in 60 years, so.
Exactly. But now to install plumbing there, it's kind of challenging.
Yeah.
Had to get
Yeah.
that.
Sure.
Yeah, it was their existing cafeteria, and that was renovated into a new cafeteria and kitchen, but all the plumbing and everything moved. So obviously, you have to do all the new underground and not for that too.
Sure.
Before that project was on United Airlines Flight Training Center for like 3 years, and that was a 500,000 square foot complex that was also a 1960s renovation. So that was kind of a challenging one too. But every 1960s building seems to be different in some way.
Yeah, you had to take those pictures of Groovy off the wall. Is that right? You know, those other things.
They had a lot of old pictures that were really cool, and they all went to storage somewhere.
Oh, really?
And
Oh,
lots of old airplane stuff, and yeah, I don't know if
oh,
I saw
yeah.
that particular one, but they had lots of old historic stuff, and they wanted to make it more unified because after they merged with Continental, there was still a lot of resentment from that, so they wanted to make it more
Sure.
unified. Yeah, I think it was Continental. So a lot of the old stuff went to storage, and I don't know how much of it ever came back out.
I got to go to the other computer to get Bob promoted. Hold on. All right, got you promoted, Bob. Yay! Bob is here.
Can you hear me okay? I can hear you.
Great, thank
Can
you.
you hear me?
Yep.
I wish Jennifer's screen had a monitor camera.
So you have to switch to the other one to do stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only from Jennifer's computer that I can switch people.
Now I'm inside instead of outside like I've been all summer because it kind of got cold or something.
Hello.
Hello, Joan.
It's always funny when that doorbell rings. I expect somebody to say, "Come in."
Right.
How is everybody?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
You and Doug doing well?
We are. We got a little cooped up. We've been spending so much time out in the backyard, enjoying the summer. And so we felt like it was winter all of a sudden for a few days. We got back out today, so it's all right.
Yeah, it was nice this afternoon.
Yeah, we went down to Cabin Creek and we didn't sit outside though. It was so windy. Oh, so Brent, you moved into your indoor office.
Yeah, kid's bedroom, but indoor office for now.
I was gonna say, it kind of looks like you might be in the pantry.
Yeah, no, it's a bedroom.
Yeah, no,
It works for now.
I know, it worked. Well, this should be a fairly quick one tonight.
Does that mean it's gonna last an hour or two?
I was surprised last time was pretty quick, huh? No, because I think we're pretty straight up on the recommendation for Scott. And I
Yeah,
don't know, depends on how much drama there is with the other thing. So I gotta
Is
tell
that
you,
back on the agenda, the
Marv,
subdivision?
You know what? She told me he had not gotten all of his paperwork in yet, or it's a conceptual, so it technically doesn't have to be fully submitted for the conceptual, does it? Or do we want to put it off? You know, since it's a short
No,
meeting,
it's just, he's just asking questions about it.
he's just asking us questions tonight.
Well, just to look at it before he submits his entire application. For the subdivision.
Okay. So, Kent, you're the invisible man.
I am, Jennifer's computer does not have a camera, which she likes. She does never want a camera on her. But that's the place where I promote people from attendees.
Right. Oh, okay.
And like I'm just doing to Susan right now.
I see. Okay.
I have to go back to my computer to show up on camera. So.
Hi, Susan.
Hey, Susan.
Hi there, I made it. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, it's getting close, everybody. Ken, do you know if we heard from anybody that's not going to be here tonight?
Cindy's not.
Okay.
I didn't hear from anybody else, and I wasn't told. that
Okay.
Jennifer heard from anybody else.
Okay.
Well, hopefully Nancy will be able to get in here tonight.
Did you talk to her, or did Jennifer talk to her after the last time? Probably should have given her a call. She's been on them before, though, hasn't she?
She has, but it's like 50-50 with her if she can really be seen and heard.
Is it her internet, you think, or that's weird? She forgets from time to time how to get on. I know on different computers it's different at our house, and I don't know why. So I'm just sticking with this one because I need some place to spread out my paperwork. So.
Sometimes they send me a link that I can really click, and other times, like tonight, I had to type everything in.
I think I had that last week or the week before, but we discovered that Doug was on the TV downstairs, and we have internet TV. And sometimes if he's on it, hi Sean, if he's on it downstairs when I'm doing this, he switched me over to a different frequency or something technical.
Yeah, too much is on the same Wi-Fi, then it'll slow it down a lot.
Yeah. One night I got booted off, and I was like, no. Okay. So we need one more, Susan, to start?
Yeah,
Um,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Well, it's 4 out of 7. You could go.
Okay, how about we just.
Hey, Scott, can you mute your,
Hello.
Somebody's having a.
hey, we got a lot of feedback coming over the microphone. Don't know if it's
Sorry
your
about that. I
side or-
just joined. It is, so I will. I'll mute right now.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay, so let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. If you would take the roll, please.
Joan Eaton,
Here.
John Platt. Here. Cindy Neely, Nancy Hale, Mark Reynolds, Bob Hamilton,
Here.
Frank Ganser.
Here.
You're good.
Okay, and let's get approval of the agenda. I actually have one just very brief thing to note more than discuss on demolition by neglect. So we'll do that at the end. And then audience business, I think everyone that is on with us is on the agenda. So we'll start with Scott Sonar.
Oh, hold on. Can I?
Yeah.
Want to approve the agenda there?
Oh, sorry. Can I get a motion?
I move that we approve the agenda.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks.
Okay, so now old and new business. Scott Sonart. So now he can't hear us, right? Scott.
Scott Sonart's here and I can hear you.
Okay, great.
Sorry, I am, at a dinner scheduled. So I am here and hopefully I'm not too much background noise.
Okay, well, I don't think we'll be too long. So
That's what I thought.
we're here about your deck. And this is basically our recommendation to the Board of Adjustments. So
Yes.
mainly panel discussion, if you have any questions, Scott, or issues. So do you guys all have the form in front of you? Do you want me to just read off the things one by one?
I think that's best.
Do you,
Yeah, that'd
okay.
probably be best.
Okay, sure. So we are to comment on each of these 7 things, if applicable or not applicable. Number 1 is the effect of the proposed change upon the general historic and/or architectural character of the structure. So anybody that has particular comment, why don't you go ahead and give it to me, and then we'll just fine tune from there.
Was the question again? Or what was the statement again?
The effect of the proposed change upon the general historic and architectural character of the structure. So
It's not historic, but it improves the character of the structure.
I feel that's a very good thing. Anybody else have any other comment about that?
Well, in the guidelines, it is encouraged that a porch be on a residential building. So I think adding the deck, since it's an elevated deck, has the same effect to kind of break up the massive front. So I think it's a positive thing.
Okay. I have to write it down. I won't remember it if I don't. Okay. And so it's a positive effect to the character of the structure as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, moving right along. Number 2, the architectural style, arrangement, texture, and materials used on existing and proposed structures and their relation to other structures in the area. So,
Similar and in the same context.
yeah. So again, a positive and appropriate.
Yes.
Yeah, they're appropriate with the materials used in the existing structure. So
Okay. All right, number 3 is the effects of the proposed work in creating, changing, destroying, or affecting otherwise the exterior architectural features of the structure upon which such work is done.
I think the proposed work enhances the architectural features of the structure.
Description.
Anybody else?
I agree.
Yeah, okay, I think that's good. Number 4, the effects of the proposed work upon the protection, enhancement, perpetuation, and use of the structure or area. I really don't think that's applicable. Although it's an enhancement.
Yeah, I think it enhances the use of the structure and that you'd have the front facing deck.
Okay. All righty, and number 5 is the use to which the structure or area will be put. I think it's highly appropriate for the deck to be on that face of the building.
Yes.
Okay, number 6, the condition of the existing improvements and whether or not they are a hazard to public health or safety. And that's a no, right?
No.
Okay.
Seeing what it would be.
Somebody have a comment?
I just
Okay.
said I'm seeing what it would be a hazard to public health and
Okay,
safety.
usually this is when someone's doing improvements, so you say, oh yeah, it's got to be done or something like that. Number 7 is compliance of the proposed development or work with all applicable design guidelines. We can definitely say yes, because we've already approved that.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to kind of go back over them, or does everybody feel confident? Scott, did you have any questions?
No, I didn't, and I appreciate your review.
Okay, anybody want to go back through them, or
I'm fine with them.
Susan, you have notes too? Okay. All right, so shall we vote to make this recommendation? Do I have a motion?
I move that we recommend that the variance be granted for the addition of the deck on the front of the building.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
All right, is there any more discussion? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Against? Okay, thank you.
That's all you need from me.
That's all we need from you.
That's it.
Thank you. Appreciate it, board. Everybody have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you too.
Thank you, you too.
Right.
Hang on, I lost my
7
agenda.
questions.
7 easy questions. There it is. Sorry, my agenda got shuffled. I know the next one is Marv. Marv, are you on?
I'm here.
I see you. I didn't know if you had your sound on. And if you want to go ahead, we're just doing a conceptual tonight. So it's a basic sort of Q&A. And if you have questions or if we have questions, and it should be basically quick, but we kind of clear up a few issues if there's anything going on with this. So it's not an approval tonight. Correct?
Sure, I appreciate that opportunity. I guess for the record, I don't know if you're still doing this in a Zoom call, but I am Marv Geisness, 917 2nd Street, Georgetown, property owner of the Washington Mill site, which is Main and Biddle, 10th Street, and almost all the way up to 9th Street. Our intent is to divide the mill site into 6 at well-conforming current size lots for the intent of single-family residential building. Our team will be building for sale, either for suit, build to suit, or on spec, but we first need to do the subdivision of the 6 lots. The team consists of myself, Dwayne Groshinsky. I hope I have got his name finally right. Tom Peterson on the architectural side, and Craig Abrahamson on the engineering and some other aspects of it. Craig, I think you're on the line, and would you like to explain exactly what we are intending?
Sure. Craig Abrahamson, CCTS. Jennifer, if you can share my screen, I've just got a few slides that I'll throw out there for everybody, and then we can kind of talk.
Jennifer's not on, so Kent's going to go do that. So it'll take just a sec. He has to switch computers.
Okay, I was going to make fun of his headset, but
He's doing 2 jobs tonight.
That must be why I had to try twice to get on.
Oh.
I know.
You should be able to do that, Craig. If you just hit share screen down the bottom. it should be-
Let me see. I've not done this before. I apologize.
What?
There it is. Share screen. Oh, I know. Nobody wants to hear me. I'm sorry. How's that? Can you guys see it?
Okay, you got it.
Okay.
Good job.
So the Washington Mill site is shown here between 9th Street on the bottom of the screen And 10th Street extended on the top of the screen, bordered by Main Street on the west and Biddle Street on the east. There's my house right over here. But anyway, this is the property that we're discussing this evening. It is currently an undivided mill site parcel that has been vacant my entire life, and was previously occupied by not actually a mill building, but a boarding house, which was located, I believe, Marv, generally up in this area right in here. So it's just in terms of specifics, there are 2 platted lots already on this end. I think this is lot 1 and lot 2. And then the balance of this is again, just undivided, if you will. This is, if everybody remembers, Draxie Buckley is right here. This is Christy Morell's house right here. So that's the lay of the land. I tried to do this in a PowerPoint presentation. It just turned out terribly. So I'm just going to scroll down here and zoom out. This is topography off the county's Clear Map program. And I did this largely to demonstrate the slopes that we're dealing with. It looks like a fairly steep site, but in actuality, from an average slope perspective, you can kind of see here on the south end, it's at about a 15% slope, as it is in the middle on average, again, across the whole thing. And then it's a little bit steeper here on the north end at 16%. There's some steeper topography in here, but this is actually on previously platted lots 1 and 2. And so the actual parcel, and I should have laid that out on here, actually starts here where my mouse is going back and forth, and it runs to the south and around the back of Draxie Buckley's house here. So this is, I'm not sure what Marv was sketching on this thing, but this is the most recent survey of this property that gives us relatively accurate meets and bounds for the parcel that's in discussion right now. And you can see there's lots, so I had them backwards. Here's lot 1, lot 2. Sorry, here's 10th Street. And 9th Street is actually beyond the bottom of the screen just there. And then this is the Washington Mill site itself in block 43.
Okay.
This, and I'll zoom in a little bit. If I'm going too fast, just let me know. Is prepared by Tom Peterson. This is the proposed division of the lots laid over the same clear map that I showed you the topography from. But you can see lots 1 and lot 2, which are already divided, so we're not actually discussing those. This is the configuration of the 8 parcels that that are currently proposed. You can see that importantly, each lot meets both the minimum area required by the subdivision regulations. In terms of new lot creation, they're all at least 5,000 square feet. They each have a minimum lot width on the frontage side of 50 feet. Proposed lot 6 having exactly 50 feet, and lots 3, 4, and 5 each being equally divided along Main Street right here. And then lot 6 is obviously larger than some of the other ones, and it fronts Biddle Street, and those are more rectangular lots oriented with the long side of the lot facing the frontage. 90 feet here, 110 feet here, 91 and change here, again along Biddle Street. And then this is just kind of, this is a little bit cleaner look at it without the aerial photography in the back of it. So I think the important points are that our slopes are under the 30% threshold that's identified in each of our zoning districts as requiring special consideration. And all of the lots meet the minimum threshold for both lot size, lot frontage. And those are really the key criteria. There's no proposal here to change anything else or anything about how these parcels lay out from a zoning regulation perspective. All the setbacks are intended to remain in compliance with the current zoning regulations. All the lot coverages are intended to remain in compliance with the current zoning regulations. All building heights are intended to remain compliant with current building regulations. And obviously all design review guidelines are intended to be complied with. So it's really just making a higher and better use of an existing parcel of land, infill parcel of land in our community from this larger parcel. And frankly, that's kind of the summation of our presentation for this evening. So Marv and I are both available for questions.
Okay, so Sean, you have a question?
I don't.
Who else spoke? Was that? Okay, I'll just go first then. I just had a quick question about lot 6 because of the shape, and I see why. Is there a think there? As it might have a garage on Main Street or a driveway up from Main Street, something like that?
Well, the current thinking, and I'm going to qualify it as the current thinking because once the parcel, once the design, and again, that's a good question because I'll back up just a second. This is a preliminary discussion about it. So there's a draft and final plat component from your perspective. The other perspective is beyond that draft and final plat, there's a design review obviously that takes place with each and every structure that is proposed to be built on this parcel. The current thinking is not actually to have that parcel access from Main Street, but rather Biddle Street.
Okay.
And
It's neither here nor there until we're looking at a house, but I was just curious if that was a plan, if that might come into play. But
yeah, the intent, yes, the current thinking is that there would be a house, it would front Biddle Street, and it would have a walkout on the back where my mouse is, roughly in here, and a garage accessed off of Biddle Street. So yes, your thinking is correct.
Okay, and also because those lots are a little bit bigger, I know from experience, just one of the issues we have on that particular area is that those streets, those houses that are going to front Biddle, their backside will face, Main Street.
Absolutely.
And it's up above. And so height is going to be an issue. There's a lot of very small houses around there. And so proportion will come into play on some of those. So I didn't know if the reason of going with 2 larger lots there on the back was to have bigger houses or what, but that's something to consider, that, they are going to still have to be within that reasonable comparable size to the smaller houses around.
To be sure. And part of the thinking there is there's a, how shall I say this? There's a certain character to, frankly, there's an interesting dividing line at 9th Street. Again, I'm sitting at 9th and Main right now. I can throw a rock. Well, probably not. I used to be able to throw a rock and hit this lot. And north of 9th Street, you tend to find, at least on the Main Street side, a little bit greater separation between structures than you do south of 9th Street. So I've got a 5-foot setback on my house and my neighbor's got a 5-foot setback. But because we were able to create slightly larger lots with this rectangular configuration with a longer lot line facing Biddle, we see that there'll be actually a little bit greater separation between structures, which I think is more in keeping with kind of the current character of the neighborhood.
Well, that's all fine too. I just didn't want there to be an expectation that there could be big houses up there.
Oh God,
or a lot bigger. Yeah, I see the size of lots, but
I will emphasize that we understand the 40% lot coverage component. We understand that the back, quote unquote, of these houses will face and be very visible from, Main Street and other parts of town, and that that'll be an important consideration in the design review component of each of these structures.
Okay, I just didn't want to set you up for disappointment or
I
whatever.
think it's great. It's been part of our internal conversations already.
Great. Well, Tom certainly knows the deal, and Marv does as well. I
Yes.
know. All of you do. So what we will do on this is, of course, it's not so much that we approve this because this is not our purview, but we would make a recommendation, and our application here is not complete, and this is the conceptual part. So tonight we will not make a motion on this, but when it's all submitted and we've had this discussion, does anybody else have any questions or comments or anything about the presentation?
I'm expecting that, I would expect, since the slope up above, all the lots slope up from Main Street, that your utilities, especially the sewer lines, will run through the front lots, the lots 3, 4, and 5?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Bob. So there are, this is the fun part of this project. There's no utilities in Main Street right now. So as part of the project, we'll be running new water mains, new sewer mains, new gas mains in underground in Main Street. And then our current thinking is that these 5-foot setback areas between on each of these Main Street fronting lots will become 10-foot utility easements as well. And so we'll run 10-foot utility easements up. Well, perhaps not this particular lot, because for lot 6, we can access Main Street anyway, but for lots 7 and lot 8, we'll create 10-foot easements along those property boundaries between lot 3 and 4 and lot 4 and 5 respectively, to provide for water, sewer, and gas and electric.
All underground?
Yes, all underground.
Excellent.
That's the current thinking.
Yeah, okay. All right, anybody else? So, it lot by lot or house by house, we'll have separate reviews on any structures built. This is we're just talking about the.
Yeah.
Do you anticipate any retaining walls?
I would call them more landscape sized walls, frankly, on this, as I've spent a lot of time on that property over the last 50 some odd years. And as I see it, what you'll find is more landscape size walls than retaining walls. I doubt there'll be anything taller than 4 feet. I think that the character of the homes that will be constructed, in particular on lots 6, 7, and 8, will be such that there'll be a lot of care taken to minimize the visual impact of the topography, if you will. In my mind, I'm translating that into smaller retaining walls, something of the character in keeping with the surrounding areas. Probably, because with a 4-foot wall, you can do stone. You can stack decent sized stone, not boulders, but stone, and accomplish the same thing that you could with concrete or some other material in that fashion. And again, I think it goes, I'll point out that these lots are not minimum size. Lot 7 is a 6,800 square foot lot, and lot 8 is 8,200 square feet. So we have some room to work from a landscape perspective, which is nice. I mean, I'm sitting on a 3,700 square foot lot here going, I don't know how I would build how I would do that. But I think the bigger challenge, honestly, is going to be on lots on 4 and 5, probably more 5 than 4, in creating a structure. And it'll be Tom's challenge to create, but he's up to it, to create a structure that really fronts Main Street well in that neighborhood.
Okay.
Craig? What
Yes.
about the, any concerns for drainage, or because all that entire property is going to drain to Main?
Yes, it will,
Likely.
as it does now.
Right.
So again, I think we have an opportunity. I think Tom did a great job laying these lots out. And I think those setbacks between houses offer us not just a utility easement opportunity, but a drainage easement opportunity as well. So we can facilitate that to the extent we need to. Lot 8, I'm not I'm not overly concerned about lot 8. The drainage off of lot 7, I do think will present some challenges that we'll have to consider when we get into the on-site civil work, for sure. But that'll obviously be part of the consideration as we move forward. I don't see any need for drainage improvements on Main Street, if that's kind of what you're tending to. Because again, that property largely drains to Main Street now, and that portion of Main Street is relatively well drained. The portion in front of my house, not so much. But the portion from where my mouse is right here on the south end down to 10th actually drains quite well. It's one of the few parts of town that has decent slope.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, well, looks like we'll look forward to getting the application so we can give a recommendation then.
Cool. Does anybody have any major concerns about this that we really want to hear your feedback now, so that as we come back with a draft plat, we hit the nail as close to the head as possible, for sure.
Well, she's not here tonight.
Okay, duly noted.
I know her feelings on, and development is a good thing. We're not against development. And I also know the concerns with those lots being, elevated, especially the 6 and 7 or the 8 and 7 back there, that those houses are going to have a presence. They're going to be a little bit more looming. And so it's more about the structures on them, and you're aware of that. But no, I don't think there's an objection to improvement, and things may come along, but I don't think it would affect this part so far.
Okay. Well, I'll emphasize for the record that we're not proposing any modifications to any zoning regulations or any design review guidelines for this particular property. These will all be historic residential zoned properties that fall under the guidance of the current design review regulations. This is not a PUD. This is nothing special. We're simply looking to make the highest and best use of the property for our community.
Okay. Well,
Marv, do you have anything else?
No, I think that's, we're very much aware of the height issue, especially on those middle lots. And I will say some preliminary thinking on the southmost lot. It's clearly a one-story as you look at it from Biddle, with a walkout to the rear. And I think that will set the pattern for the other 2 lots as well.
Okay. All right, well, we look forward to getting the submittal then when it comes through, and we will work on a recommendation.
We appreciate your giving us your feedback and listening to us tonight.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay. So I just had one thing for everyone as far as demolition by neglect on Towle Square. Craig, can you take your thing down? Can you unshare with us?
Well, I think, oh, there it is. I found the button.
Oh,
There we go.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I can find my button too.
Towle Square over there. There's an apartment building, and then this separate little 2-story part with a small retail space and an apartment. And it's fallen. It's shabby. It's disgraceful. And it is right downtown. So it's not just paint. There's some issues with the I don't know about structure, but the details and the woodwork and stuff on that building. So maybe if we could look into that, if you want to take a look at it. Okay.
I did have a conversation with the owner 2 weeks ago, because I contacted him. A neighbor had talked about a light pole that was laying down in the courtyard of that building.
Yeah.
And a 5-gallon bucket that was over the base of the where the light pole, and it's their private light pole. It's not the town's or anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why they had contacted the town. I ended up contacting the owner and did have a conversation with them, and they did say that they were sending someone to at least paint the building here this fall still. So, but I can contact them again and take a little more closer look regarding the building itself.
Yeah, and, you know, if you want to just walk over and take a look, I think it's more than just a paint job that there's
Right.
stuff that needs to be done, so addressed. I'm not worried that it's exactly going to fall in, but you know, that's how it begins. All right, anybody got anything else? We got minutes. August 27th minutes. I don't.
Didn't see anything in reading through them. They look okay to me.
Anybody see anybody else? I think they were pretty brief. Find mine now. Well, anybody want to make me a motion if you don't have anything to add to it or change? Brent?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, minutes approved and let's adjourn. All right, thanks, everybody.
All right, everybody.
Thank you. That was
Good night, Joan.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah.